PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people.
Real Talk Live with Dr. Rodney Grimes. People to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Yes, with Sir Rod and Lady Z. It's not about you, it's not about me, it's about we. In God we trust.
Positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking people. PTP, positive thinking.
Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to the People to People, Power to Power, Positive Thinking People program. You know it's People to People with Dr. Rodney Alex Grimes, your host. I am always pleased to come and give good information or bring some good guests to you to just let people know that, we care about what's going on in your life. We try to give you information that's going to change your life for the betterment of your everyday living. And, we don't claim to be the professors and to know that we know everything and anything like that. So a lot of times it's just our perspective from the way we feel. And, but a lot of times what we do is deal with truth and facts. So that's part of the reason why I brought this guest in today, which in a few minutes I'm going to introduce them. But before I even go there, let me tell you something. I got some family members out there that I got to wish a happy birthday to. One of them is one. I mean, she know how I feel about her. My cousin Faith. Come on now, Faith. You already know that you like one of my favorites in the family. You are a blessing to us. So happy birthday to you. And then uh, our cousin Vivian. So also to you down in South Carolina, Vivian, we say happy birthday to you, and then we just say happy birthday to everyone who has a birthday that's celebrating today. So real quick, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday to you. Yay! Yeah. So anyway, we love you all, and again, it's just another powerful moment for us to come. And my guest today is Michael Durrah the second. You know, he threw that. He made sure that second got in there.
Yes, sir.
How you doing?
All right, yourself.
It's my pleasure, my
Always
brother.
a
Don't
pleasure.
worry about that. I get that. Uh, so look, this is what's really exciting, right? A lot of people don't know that I have spoken with you on many occasions to ask you to come in to sit down and for us to have a just open discussion about some things on just how you perceive things in life and being that you're a type of individual who just deal with logic and facts. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
See, you're not one that go along with the saying, well, there's a fairy godmother. I mean, no, not fairy godmother. What you call her, too furry,
Yes.
right?
Exactly.
Things of that nature.
Exactly.
You when it comes even to the religion aspect of things, you try to look at it from a fact where you say, hey, let's speak truth instead of fiction or things that have been planted into our head. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
So that's why I thought maybe having where we clear the smoke would be a good title for today because what we want to do is let's just talk some real conversation. So first of all, I'm going to ask you, being a black male in America, how do you feel? What's your take on that?
As far as
As far as do you feel freedom? Do you feel that you're still in slavery? Do you feel like you're being controlled? Well, just give me a little bit on that.
well, there's really no such thing as what we would consider freedom because we're always dealing with the system or involved in the system somehow, even when it comes to financials with money. Because you get a job. If you're blessed to get a job, or if you gain certain skills as you're coming up, depending on how you're raised, of course. And the reason you get the jobs and the different skill sets is so that you can provide a certain way of life for yourself that the Creator allows us to have. Now, going along with that, you still have to pay taxes that are imposed on us and the way the system is set up in society. Um, and there's still certain limitations that you're going to have depending on what your financial situation is.
Mm-hmm.
So I can't really say that we're totally free when it
Free.
comes to everything.
Right. And I totally agree on some aspect because for real, you really, and we say in this country now, I love America. Don't get me wrong. I love America. But some of the things and the way that they go is kind of like, you'd be like, man, sometimes you'd be feeling like you really just getting robbed because
Exactly.
you never own anything.
Not really. And that's one of the reasons why when I talk to certain people, I have different conversations with certain people. And a lot of times you have people who, for whatever reason, if they're intelligent enough, they want to ignore the system, even if there's certain things that the system has helped them to attain. For anybody to say that there's no such thing as racism any longer and, we're not being held back from anything, that's a farce because we have proof of it every single day. So, in order for us to solve anything, you have to first admit that there is a problem.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, what happens is for the ones who benefit the most from the system, the ones that a lot of times sell out, what they say is, oh, racism doesn't exist any longer because then there would be no black people that are rich or anything like that. We wouldn't be able to go out here and do what we want and get what we want. No, what happens is that you're still a part of the system because it's a pyramid system. There's always somebody on top. There's always somebody making more money than you, especially the people that were blessed to have the generational wealth.
Mm-hmm. Well, what we understand, and this is what I do share with individuals whenever I'm mentoring or speaking in different engagements, whatever, we're going to speak some truth.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, one of the things that I tell people, we already know that there's a system.
Right.
And I ask them, can you beat the system? So I'll ask you, can you beat the system? Do you think that the average person could beat the system?
Well, there are loopholes within the system.
Yeah.
So now, once again, I can't say totally beating the system, but using the loopholes that are actually in the system that a lot of times we're not aware of. Once we become aware of those things and you know how to maneuver and manipulate those things within your favor.
So what you're saying is if you learn the system
Yes,
and then create your own system, not to fall too far to the left or right,
exactly.
you'll be able to manage within the system.
Yes,
And that's what I kind of try to get a lot of young people to understand. Don't try to buck the system.
no, sir.
Learn the system.
Yes, sir.
Learn the law.
Yes, sir.
Because there are laws that you may break unknowingly, and then there's laws that are still protect you
Yes, sir.
if you know exactly where to go to get the
Yes, sir.
information.
Yes, sir.
So now when we talk about racism and things of that nature, let me say this. Racism will never go away.
No, sir.
Racism always also I consider to be a state of mind. It's a state of way people think. I know it exists.
Right.
We a lot of people say they're not racist, but everybody is in some kind of way. You may not like a person who's a transgender, or you may not like a person who's light skinned, or you may not like a person who grow a beard. You're showing some type of racism or some kind of dislike to an individual because of who they are or how they look. Now, racism, most cases, will come where it's based on our ethnic background. You agree?
Yes.
So when we talk about racism, because it's going to be always, it's the black, we got white, we got Hispanics, we got Asians, we got all these different cultures that we
Excuse me.
deal with. You're going to find sometimes when you walk into a room, and let me give you some little example. You walk into a room, you're the only black person that walks into the room, and it's all white and all Asians. Do you think you're going to feel comfortable?
I would myself personally.
You would?
I would myself personally, yes, sir.
Okay. And technically I would probably say I would too, because of the fact that I'm confident in who I am. But also when you look at the fact that you're the only black person in the room, you'll find that you'll start looking for people to treat you a certain way.
Once again, personally, I can't speak to that
Okay, tell me.
because
Come on.
because I've been in those particular situations before,
Okay.
and I don't feel any other kind of way
So
because of, as you stated, the confidence that I have in myself, the
okay.
knowledge that I have, and also knowing that I can conversate with anyone on any particular level. So myself personally, and also because of the way that I was raised, things that I was exposed to as far as my family and things are concerned. So myself personally, I wouldn't feel that way. But I can't understand why others of our same ilk that haven't been in those particular situations,
Mm-hmm.
in those particular rooms, how they may feel uncomfortable or
Right.
may think the particular way that you're thinking that a lot of us would, which once again would be understandable for somebody who's not used to that.
Right. So basically, do you feel that in this country everybody is on the same playing field?
No, but there are generalities. And in general, once again, for, as we say, our people in the hood who aren't used to being around people who are non melanated and of other cultures, if you're not exposed to it and exposed to them just as it is with them, where they're taught the racism that they actually expound when they're out. A lot of times, especially with this media stuff online now, anybody can get online and say what they want to say, and they have no filter to say what they want to say. But a lot of times, those people are speaking from experience. A lot of times, the people, especially a lot of racists, they've never even had experiences with black people, and you can actually read those things. There's a lot of different studies that have been done, and of course, you can't believe all studies. You can't believe what do they call them? All surveys, but it depends on the type of survey it is and what context it's taken.
And also where it comes from.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but once again, like I said, for myself personally, by having the experiences that I've experienced, being where I've been, seeing the people I've seen, and being around those particular people I've been around, I wouldn't feel any other type of way.
Yeah, and me personally, I don't. I can walk in a room. I don't care who it is in there.
Yes,
I
sir.
don't really let it bother me. If it's all men, they put their pants on the same way I put mine on. If it's all women, hey, I just admire the beauty of them and keep it moving, and talk to them with some respect, whether they Asian, white, Indian, or whatever. If they treat me with respect, then I treat them with respect. So I can go into a room with any type of individuals from any ethnic background and pretty much feel comfortable. But I do know that because of the color of my skin, sometimes I'm targeted
Yes, sir.
in a different way that then makes me start to think of the possibility of a person being racist.
Right.
But I don't really want to elaborate on that too much because where we are today, you can pick and choose where you want to go pretty much.
Well, when we're born, eating, sleeping, using the restroom or bathroom as a child, as an infant, and the need for affection and attention. Those are the things that we're born with. Everything else is learned behavior.
Mm-hmm.
See, even on down to the confidence aspect, because one of the things that we've learned through our lives growing up and being in the world as we have, the more knowledge that you have, a lot of more confidence is built, and you're able to assert yourself more when you're able to articulate. And that's one of the things where we have to do better, because everything else is a learned behavior aside from the four things that I stated. But part of that drawback with that is you can only teach what you know. So if we don't seek the knowledge, then we're going to stay stagnant and stay where we are. That's part of the reason why we're not moving forward. Is we're not educating in the home as it used to be, especially the times that we were growing up.
Yeah.
The things that we were experiencing. You know, and a lot of that was because we did have the balance in the home, in most of our homes.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't have mom and dad there, you may have had granddad somewhere around, had an uncle somewhere around, cousins, may have been people in the neighborhood,
Mm-hmm.
certain teachers. But we always had a plethora of positive male role models
That's
that they
so
could
true.
speak out.
Yeah. That is so uh, profound in the way we move today that we're lacking the leadership of a lot of males on the level that's needed because many years ago, you always had a lot of gentlemen who were giving you information, who was correcting you, disciplining you,
Yes, sir.
guiding you, and providing you with some courage to feel comfortable that you are protected.
Yes.
Where I grew up in Old Town Alexandria on the 500 block of Payne Street, uh, many houses had a man in there, and those men were fathers and husbands. And they may not been all church going men, but they were men with standards
Yes.
that they live by,
Yes.
with morals and with respect.
Yes.
And having them, they many times pulled me aside and shared that. And that was even, I got that even in the congregations where I fellowshipped and going to the swimming pool or to the Alexandra Boys Club or something of that nature. We always had some guys, some men that was really there to guide us. We are like now in this time. Uh, do you really fear for tomorrow, what tomorrow may bring?
As far as the way that it's going for our people,
For our people first,
okay,
and also for the youth.
uh, I really do. Um, Part of it, unfortunately, and a lot of times, it's pushed back on the black men. But when we got to that point where our women started saying, "I don't need a man. I can raise this kid by myself. I can be the mama and the dad," and started having a lot of the good guys, the men that wanted to be there in their children's lives, being pushed away from their children because the mother is upset with him for whatever reason. We can go all the way back to when the welfare system was changed, because a lot of people don't know that the welfare system was actually changed three times. Lyndon B. Johnson was the first one who changed it. Once it was established, he was the first one that changed it to state that the man had to leave the home. When Jimmy Carter followed him later on, Jimmy Carter reinstated that the man could be in the household and the man would be listed as head of household when it came to receiving the welfare check. When Ronald Reagan got in office, Ronald Reagan changed the law again to where the man had to leave the home. A lot of those situations what doesn't get talked about a lot of times is where the woman told the man, well, why don't you leave so we can get this money for these kids? And that doesn't get talked about because it's not all the time that the man left. You know, one of the things I say to people a lot of times when I have this particular conversation, remember the song Papa was a Rolling Stone?
Mm-hmm.
Wherever he laid his hat was his home.
Yeah.
Why did Papa become the Rolling Stone?
Yeah.
Because Mama rolled him right on out the door. But see, there's always a single woman or women, whether they're single or not, that are somewhere that are watching. And if you don't think that lady that lived 8 blocks up the street wasn't paying attention to y'all in the stores, how he interacted with the children, and how he was taking care of the home and all those things, because she'll see you in the stores and maybe on the street a little bit here and there, so she, no, that's a good man. No, he go to work, come home, and take care of everything he need to take care of. So when Papa get kicked out, he mess around and bump into her somewhere. Now word done got around in the street that Mama done kicked him out.
Yeah.
So now she makes herself available, lets him know that she's available.
Yeah.
I imagine that they might have asked the question like, I don't mean to be in your business, but I heard that you got kicked out.
Yeah.
How long it's been? It's been about a week. Oh my goodness. When the last time you had a home cooked meal?
Yeah. I never,
When
it's
the last time you had a shower? Why don't you come on over? I'll fix you a nice hot meal. You can take your nice hot shower.
I never thought about it though, but when you said about Papa was a Rolling Stone, whether he laid his hat was a home, that you're right that some women was like sitting in the cut because they know that Mr. Roberts or Mr. John or Mr. Johnson or Mr. Smith, he's a good man.
Yes, sir.
It's just that they got issues over there.
Yes, sir.
So she'd say, come lay your hat here and fix him a good old meal. And there you go. So I'm just jumping around because several people that had discussions with you has brought it to my attention on your perspective on different things from different areas. What's your take on religion in this country?
Well, I don't believe in religion. Religion is a man-made concept because that's why you have different religious denominations. If we're speaking of in this country, if you want to talk culturally, that's a different story. We can speak culturally because the Asians will have their particular religion that they follow,
Mm-hmm.
and Europeans have their particular religion that they will follow. So it will differ from country to country, whatever their religious, whatever their I consider to be spiritual beliefs would be. But the whole religion and religious denomination thing is an American thing, and since Christianity was forced on a lot of different people, you know, one of the things that they do is they use that, just like they use politics, the whole Democrat Republic thing, to make you try to choose a side. For example, I had best friends who were Jehovah's Witnesses, and one of the things that they believe in their religion is that there's only going to be a certain amount of people who actually get entered into the kingdom of heaven once it's all over. They don't respect marriages unless you marry another Jehovah Witness, whether it's in their congregation or not. So a lot of different beliefs and things of that particular nature. Where for me, it's about a particular way of life.
Mm.
See, you can believe or follow whatever cult/religion you want to follow, but that doesn't mean that you had an intimate relationship with the Creator. Because a lot of people put on the mask and they'll go to the building to the church.
Mm.
But I've even heard people say, well, I go to church on Sunday and pray for all my sins and God forgive me. But then they go right back out and go to the club Sunday night. So for me, seeing is believing. Action means more than anything else. How do you treat people? How do you talk to people? And that, for me, shows that the Spirit of God lives within a person.
Yeah.
You know,
I,
you
I,
running around saying you're a Christian or saying that, you know, that you're Episcopal or whatever you want to call it, that doesn't mean anything.
I believe in one creator. I don't like to claim a title to tell somebody that I'm a Christian Baptist or anything. I'm a spiritual man who believes in one creator. Now,
Yes,
okay,
sir. And that's what I'm talking
yeah. But I also believe that we are gifted through our creator.
Yes.
I believe we're made in his image.
Yes.
And I also believe that I don't say that the Quran is not right. I don't say the Bible is not right. I don't say Buddhism is not right because man has a way of tampering with everything.
Yes, sir. Yes,
So,
sir.
but we know through God that when God puts the Holy Spirit, this is my perspective.
Yes, sir.
When he put the Holy Spirit on it, it doesn't matter. The truth will come to you.
Yes, sir.
So for me to walk out and tell a person, they say, well, you believe in God? I believe in creator. You know, God itself, the word God can be used in many, many
Oh, yes.
terms
Yes.
and can represent many, many things.
Yes.
But when we talk about the creator,
Yes.
Yahshua, Jehovah, we may call them many, many names,
Right.
but we know the one and only. Then I start to get to a point and I look at a person and I watch how people treat people. So that if I know if they're spiritual or
Yes,
not.
sir.
See, we got people who claim to be preachers and teachers and pastors and bishops and deacons, and what they do behind closed doors is crazy.
Well, they become all that for the tax breaks.
Yeah, and we have a lot of that going on.
Yes,
But
indeed.
I don't say that to denounce the ones who really, really stay in their position,
Exactly.
because you can watch how a person conduct itself and how they walk, the things that they say.
Like you say, the truth shines through.
Yeah. So my wife got me working on a project right now, not to use profanity. Um, and as I know that when I think of my creator, he would not use, or that's not what I would think that Yahshua would be when he have a conversation. That's how he would conduct himself.
Right.
So when I want to walk in his image, then I try to correct those things that I know that are not right. How I talk to people, how I treat my children, how I treat my fellow man,
Yes, sir.
how I treat this country.
Yes, sir.
So that in itself puts me just to be a spiritual man who believes in one creator.
Yes, sir.
And I don't, when I say that, because I don't want people to misinterpret what I'm saying. Do I believe in the Bible? I believe in scriptures. I do. I also believe that some people have gotten in there to use it to their benefit to try to dictate on how people are going to act.
Yes.
You know, and I know that throughout this country history that they have done that.
Yes, sir.
Which we got a lot of people will not acknowledge that.
And that's exactly what I was speaking to earlier. Because also exactly what you're saying is when you look at those different illustrations of, as we call it, the Bibles, even from the different cultures. There's always going to be something that's in those that are in our Bible.
Yeah.
See, there's always going to be some type of continuity.
Yeah.
So they have to put the truth in there.
Right.
See, one of the things that I talk to people about when I had these, once again, type of conversations is people will say, well, how can you tell if somebody's lying? I say, well, first of all, they can't look you out. It's the first thing that give you a clue, give you a hint that somebody is speaking a non-truth to you. Somebody is lying to you. But it's, I forgot, lost my train of thought real quick.
Yeah. So basically, when it comes down to the fact of the truth of religious and people who
I
operate,
apologize. It just came back.
yeah,
What happens is, in order for me to have you to believe the lies, I have to put some truth in it. Got to sprinkle some truth in it. Because what happens is, if I just give you all lies, you're going to say, oh, wait a minute. They're lying. Everything they said is a lie. But if I sprinkle some truth in it and you can identify it, what's going to happen is you're going to get struck on the truth. Everything else you're going to forget about. Wait a minute. Everything else they said was a lie, but that right there was true. Maybe they wasn't lying about the others.
Mm.
And that's what happens to a lot of people. They get caught up and they get stuck right there, and then you don't hear everything that comes behind.
yeah. And the reason why some of the things that I find is hard to deal with when it do come to, and we say the religion, but I'm talking about your spiritual walk. Uh, when like they go, we got the Catholics. They go to the church and they get be in the wall in that little box, and they talk through, and they know it's a man on the other side, and then they confessing to this guy. Now, for real, you can go do that in the closet at home by yourself and talk directly to God.
Yes,
I'm not trying to make fun of it,
Yes,
but
sir.
I'm just saying, you just told another man that, yo, I'm telling you this, what they call them, I don't know what they call it in the Catholic churches, but father or whatever.
Oh, yeah, the priest? Yeah,
The
they
priest.
call it the father such and such.
Yeah. And they say, Father, I come to you to confess
Please
my
forgive me,
sins.
Father, I've
I've
sinned.
sinned. Right. I just killed the man. Now, by law, the priest supposed to go call the police and say he just did that, but also by the structure of the religion itself, he's not supposed to say anything,
Right.
because he's confessing his sins, right?
Because the religion is protected.
Right. So this is when we talk about, and we're gonna get off that because I don't want to really get into making anybody feel uncomfortable or thinking that I want to beat down on somebody. But that's when I start to think about some of the things that we do moving forth. If you believe in the Creator, you know that God is, when He made everything He made was for the good. Nothing was for the bad. Evil and all that just that came within this realm when man started really, really trying to take control. He gave us a will, and a lot of times we don't use it properly.
Right.
We'll start looking one way, trying to say, "Oh, God said it was okay." No, God, if it wasn't going to be something that's going to be beneficial to a person moving forward, being happy, healthy, and wise, God didn't have nothing. He didn't do anything that's going to change you from trying to be a good person.
Right.
So we got a lot of people that can become a very, very, very crazy and strange conversation. I'm tapping with you in these different areas because of previous conversations that we had and some things of the way. We should take on Christmas.
Another farce. Just a big money grab. Because, one, if you look at it, the time of season that it is, and from the different things that I've read and particular things that I've studied, it was too cold over there too. So they weren't in no barn and all that. And the whole structure for me was set up just to be a money grab.
Yeah.
And I've had this particular conversation with one of my aunts before
Mm-hmm.
because my family, tight knit family, nice size. And what we used to do is when we gathered for Thanksgiving, they would do the White Elephant Secret Santa Christmas giving name pull.
Mm-hmm.
So by this particular time, I had stopped celebrating the holidays like that. And my aunt asked me, "Are you participating this year in the gift giving?" And I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not." She said, "You're not." I said, "No, ma'am, I'm not." She said, "And why not? You weren't raised that way." I said, "Yeah, and if I was, like if y'all raised me the right way, I would have celebrated it in the first place." She looked at me. I said, "Let me ask you a question." She said, "Okay." I said, "Is your name Jesus?" She said, "Boy, stop playing." I said, "Humor me, because you asked me a question. I'm going to answer it, but I just need you to go this way so I can elaborate." So she said, "No, no." Okay. One who you're buying a gift for named Jesus. She says, "No." I said, "Okay. So what's the reason we celebrate Christmas again?" "Because celebrating Jesus' birthday." I said, "So why do we give gifts to other people on Jesus' birthday when we have our own birthdays to celebrate when he was the gift that was given?" She didn't have an answer. I said, "Exactly. That's my point. Jesus was the gift. We're not supposed to be giving each other gifts on his birthday."
If anything, you're supposed to be giving love and kindness and the blessings of
Yes, sir, Dr.
this.
Grimes. And if that's the case, shouldn't that be every day?
It should be
Shouldn't Thanksgiving be every day?
every day,
Shouldn't Mother's Day and Father's Day be every day?
every day. I agree with you.
See, so that's my perspective on that.
Yeah, I totally. When it comes down to it, I don't celebrate.
And if I may,
Go ahead.
I apologize.
No, go ahead.
If I may. Also, especially since we were talking about our particular culture and our financial challenges, especially in this country, in
Mm-hmm.
this business of America,
Mhm.
because America is not a country, it's actually a business.
Right.
Most of our people actually
They don't know that.
Okay.
I know.
But we've been conditioned, well, to lie to your children. Because that's the first thing, you're lying to your children.
Right.
Okay. And you're telling your children to only be good 2 times a year: Christmas and your birthday. Because we always heard growing up, and we even still hear it now. You know your birthday coming up, you better act right because you're not going to get anything if you don't. Better keep your grades up because you know Christmas coming if you don't keep. What about the other 2 quarters?
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second thing, because what you're doing is you're telling your children they can be part time. You don't have to do it all the time. Just only when something that you care about that matters to you, then you perform.
Yeah.
Okay. Next thing that's taught, where the biggest part of the lie is, you're lying on yourselves and about yourselves because you're the ones going out here making the effort, going to work every day, dealing with everything that you have to deal with, the different people that you have to deal with,
Mm-hmm.
things and people that you have to prepare yourself for every single day before you step out that door.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to lie to your kids and tell them that it's some fat white man coming down the chimney that they don't even have leaving them gifts.
And you don't have no chimney.
That's why I said a chimney you don't even have.
One of the things that really got me was uh, uh, we talking about the lies start way back. Did Columbus discover America?
Come on, man.
How can you discover something that is already there?
Of course.
when we talk about Thanksgiving, if you really think about this now, let me say something about that. Yeah, if we go back to the history of it, what did they do? They came, they brought food, they sat down with the natives of this country, right? To have fellowship with them, supposedly, right?
Yes, sir.
But they also came and sat down with them to steal from them,
Yes.
to kill them,
Yes.
to lie to them,
Yes.
to take their properties,
Yes.
and even to rape and destroy their beliefs.
Yes.
So when we go back, we got to be careful how we move.
Yes.
What when we talk about Halloween, yeah, and I'm just saying this. A lot of people will look at me and say, "Man, you're a Scrooge or you're a mean person." But no, I understand what you're celebrating.
Yes.
Back then, why do they dress up in these costumes? Because back then they wasn't giving candy;
No, sir.
they was actually killing people.
Yes, sir.
We talking about when I did some studies and going back on some things. That is really inappropriate for you to have a child sitting on your lap.
Yes.
You know that?
Yes. And if I may, you know what they used to call Halloween?
What?
Devil's Night.
Yeah. Hmm.
Hmm.
Now, one of the things, reason why I was going back to about, had you ever noticed that the image of Santa Claus,
Yes.
right?
Old Saint Nick.
Old Saint Nick
Uh-huh.
always got a kid
Uh,
on his lap.
Oh, we can get into that story,
Come on.
because a lot of people don't actually know that story. See, that's why the things that still go on with the higher ups go on. That's why the Jeffrey Epstein stuff would never come out.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot of people don't know that history about Santa Claus, about how he was, can I say the word?
You pedophile.
How he was a pedophile. And, when you have money and of a different hue, different complexion, the non-melanated,
Yeah. So that was part of the stuff that if people go back
they get
and
away.
just study the history of things that and why we have these different holidays and what they really mean, they'll start to understand why certain people don't celebrate them if you
Mhm.
deal with the truth.
Yeah.
When we're talking about the Christmas trees and putting the ornaments on it, that those things, even in the Bible, it'll tell you not to do that.
Yes, sir.
A lot of people don't know that.
Of course they don't. Because once again, we've been indoctrinated
Yes.
with these lies and these beliefs
Right.
that have been handed down and passed down. And it got to the point. Well, see, one of the things that happened, and I apologize for just shifting,
No, keep it up
but,
because
but
I'm
one of the things that has happened is that what they did was that's the reason they got rid of our true leaders,
Mhm.
educators.
Yeah.
They want the kids to look up to entertainers
Yeah.
as the leaders
And
the
the
puppets that they
telephones.
control.
Yes.
See, because once again, if we were connected worldwide, melanated people, where would everybody else be of the non-melanated persuasion? They wouldn't be at the top.
Yeah.
They'd be at the bottom. See, and that's one of the things. And I was having a conversation about this particular thing with somebody a little earlier, because in this country, they tell you that if you have a drop of black blood in your body, that makes you black, right? The way that what they call us. The I don't call us foundational Black Americans, FBAs. I call us FMAs, foundational melanated Americans. Because we're not black, we're melanated. And one of the things that people have to understand and realize is if you have a drop of the melanated blood in your body, the laws that are stated in this country say that you're melanated. Well, wouldn't that mean there's more of us here?
It would. But that's when we go to the way things are taught how we're raised, the education levels and things of that nature. All this is by
Exactly.
system.
Exactly
That goes
what
back
I'm
to
saying.
the system.
The learned behavior.
Yeah. So the system in itself start to prepare you to respond the way they want you to. And when you say they, my slogan is people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. People to people, that means you, me, and them.
Yes.
Them being whoever it is.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
You make them whoever it is.
Right.
Power to power, the power you possess, the power I possess, and the power they possess.
Okay.
Whoever they be.
Right.
And when we say positive thinking people, those are the positive people who deal with the facts and the truth.
Right.
The realization of where we are today, even as we move forth, a lot of times we're just moving on lies and no truth.
Yes.
In order to keep us separated and confused.
I concur.
If we understand the system, learn the system, and work within the system, you'll
Yes.
then start to find that you will not be running around here crazy during the Christmas holidays, spending money you don't have,
Exactly.
buying gifts for people who you really don't like.
Exactly. And may I add to that also a misconception a lot of people have. And a lot of people, they a lot of times have the right intention, but you can't change the system from inside. So going to try to, oh yeah, I'm gonna go become a cop because I'm gonna change that. I'm gonna be a politician. No, you're not gonna be able to change the system from the inside out. All they're gonna do is chew you up and spit you out.
Mm-hmm.
And we had all of the examples throughout the years to show us that that's the way it is. What you just stated is the way we have to move.
You have to learn the system.
What you just stated, that's the way we have to move.
Yes. A lot of times, again, with myself, I worry about the future of this. And I'm not just saying Black America, I'm talking about America, period.
Exactly.
On where are we that we have denied the truth to be told. And now we got individuals who running the business, not the country,
The business.
the business.
Yes.
And they're running it in the way that they want it to be ran to benefit them only.
Right.
Not for the neighbor.
Right.
Which then goes back, now we go into the spiritual aspect of who you are. Do you really believe in the creator? Everything ties in all the way around.
Yes, sir.
When it comes down to it.
Yes, sir.
So you got to be conscious and become aware of who you are, how you're moving, who you socialize with, and your beliefs. Because all of this dictates you as you move on a daily basis.
Yes, sir.
Me personally, I know when I met my wife, Zena, I told her I really don't celebrate holidays. It was for several reasons. Coming up as a child, I came up in a very abusive situation. But the other thing was that when I found out some of the things that my mother was telling me, and more so my mother than my father, like I thought Santa Claus didn't like me as a child, right?
Okay.
So as a child, I started to develop this uncomfortable feeling, animosity, or just saying, as a child, why would you want to do that to a child? And now let me explain why. Because as a child, I didn't know it at the time, but my sister had a different father, and he was providing more for her than my father was providing for me.
Okay.
But my mom was telling me it's Santa Claus, right? Which is a lie, right? So now I'm seeing her getting more stuff. I ain't getting that much. I'm like, yo, we just saw Santa Claus flying across the sky, me and her together. And we excited because he coming. We ain't got no chimney now. I think he coming in through the door, But as a child, I'm excited because my mother said, if y'all don't go to sleep, Santa Claus ain't coming.
Did y'all leave the cookies and milk out?
All right. Well, I'm gonna tell you, if we left them, I ate them. I'm trying to tell you, Santa Claus didn't get them cookies, Jack. I was the kid that stuck back down and got them joints.
How about that?
But on the real, for many years, it really did something to me and it affected me. I remember my mom telling me when a tooth fell out, she said, "Oh, the tooth fairy, we're gonna put this under your pillow." And she put a Kennedy 50 cent under there, right? And you talk about got excited, bro. I woke up after that tooth came out and saw that Kennedy 50 cent, and the ice cream man came. You ever hear when Eddie Murphy said about the ice cream truck? He said, ice cream, right? I hear that bell coming, the ice cream man coming. A tooth done fell out, right? Now I got the Kennedy 50 cent. Mom, that's my Kennedy 50 cent? Yeah, that's yours. Can I go get me some ice cream? Go ahead, right? Now I go outside. I got 50 cent and all other little friends who I grew up with who I love very dearly.
Right.
Now I'm the man, so I can buy them
Some ice cream.
right? So what happened is I said, man, that tooth came out, another tooth gonna come back. I still got some more in there, right? So now I start figuring out how to make the other ones come out, which was crazy.
Right.
You know, I'm slamming doors, tying strings on it, trying to get a tooth to come out so I can get me
Some more
another,
money.
get me some, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But the funniest thing though, you know, I never did that with my kids because of those things.
Right.
I didn't tell them about no Santa Claus. We didn't play that. Yo, man, let me tell you something. I work hard, me and your mom, we work hard to get this. Now, if you want that certain thing, you got to handle your business. And maybe when you wake up in the morning, it'll be there. That's how I raised my children. I had a ordeal one time. We when my daughter went to school, um, they was talking about Santa Claus, this and that. And my daughter, she just outright said, "They ain't no Santa Claus." And she got in trouble by the teacher.
Mhm.
The teacher reprimanded her and told her she couldn't say this and that or whatever. And I went up there and said, "Excuse me. First of all, you ain't gonna tell my daughter when she can speak and she if she's speaking her truth, you allow her to speak her truth. Because this is what she gets from her parents. See, what you got to understand is, which at the time it was a white teacher. I said, I'm not going to have my daughter believing that some white man is giving her all these gifts. Are you crazy? As hard as I'm working? No. My daughter's going to understand it now. I told my daughter about the history of Santa Claus and where it came from, how it originated. And there's some good in it. Don't get me wrong. There's some good in it because a lot of kids are really happy and they enjoy that family time and gift. That's fine. All of that works. All of that to me, when you're doing that, that's how God operates. If it's making you happy and it's giving love and joy in your family and stuff like that, that's what I look that God is a part of. But for me to come in there and tell you the reason why I'm giving this is because Jesus was born on this day and we ain't got nothing in there that's representing Jesus. You got to be kidding me. You are now having me to believe something that's not true.
Right.
And then as a grown up, now I learn how to lie,
Mhm.
steal,
Mhm.
cheat,
Mhm.
and put false information out,
Exactly.
which we respond by what we're taught.
There you go.
So, you know, some people may not really be able to like this information that we are talking about right now. And I don't want to really offend anybody per se, because I have my own beliefs as an individual. And, you know, I never did want to um, walk around and just live off of um, um, the holidays, because something else that I want people to think about. Do you know when you think about the holidays and the way that it moves, that almost every month of the year there's something to cause you to have to spend your money,
Yes, sir.
to not put you in a position to save it,
It's all by design.
all by design.
It's all by design.
You got only a couple of months out of the year, and there's something slipped in there somewhere where they still got you spending your money unnecessarily.
Oh yeah.
Instead of you saving it or putting it to the benefit of financial literacy for your family.
Yeah, trying to make some type of investments.
For it, right.
Yeah.
So we got to understand, learn the system. You create your own system, but make sure your system corresponds.
But excuse me, no, Dr. Grimes. But if I go ahead on and I do it big for Christmas and get my kids all the Christmas stuff, I mean, you know, I do have the tax season coming. When I'm gonna get my income tax, I'm gonna get my refund.
Oh,
I can make it up then.
well, how are you gonna do that? Because they might not give it back to you.
No, they gotta get that to me.
No, they don't. They don't have to
You know,
give you
and then
that.
and then it's money, that money I paid for Christmas. You know, I might be a little late on rent or a little late on a couple bills, but when I get the refund, the income tax,
You
I
gonna
can make
catch
up
up.
for. I'll catch up, make up
Yeah,
for.
yeah. But when you did all that, now you done already got your credit going down, and you got people looking at you saying you couldn't even manage your bills during this time when they don't realize that you was trying to keep up with the Joneses.
No, I'm gonna call them and I'm gonna make the arrangements. I'm gonna make the agreements
Oh yeah.
to where I can stretch the payments out.
Well, you call and make the arrangement because guess what? They're gonna put late on the arrangements. You feel me?
Yes, sir.
So
And that's part of the mindset.
yes,
And that's the mindset that we have to get
Out
our
of.
people out
out
of.
of yes, we have to come to some point as individuals where we got to deal with the truth.
Yeah.
And understand.
You can't spend the money unless it's in your hand.
Well, you know something? One of the things that has been really brought to my attention, and I'm guilty of it. Why are you spending money that you don't even have?
That's what I'm saying.
Because most of us do that.
That's what I'm saying.
And when I say spending money that you don't have, you get $1,000, right?
Yes, sir.
So now you say, well, I'm gonna take 200 put here, 300 right here, and another 200. So that was 700.
Right.
We got 300 left, right? Would you take that money and really put it away Christmas time? No, you won't. What you're going to do is you're going to take that 300 and take that other 200 and say, I ain't going to pay that right now to make this 500 so I can get something going right here. And once we buy the kids and the friends or the girlfriends these gifts, matter of fact, you didn't spend 500, you spent 1,500 because they gave you a credit card to tell you that don't worry, you can pay that back later.
And you're gonna get 30% off for signing up for it.
Yes. And they're going to charge you 30% interest on the back end
to make up for
it. I tell you, ladies and gentlemen, I had Michael come in because Michael is a man who he just try to keep things real in this conversation, and most of the people that know him, they know him for that reason. I told him that I wanted him to come in because I knew that it would be a conversation of let's deal with some facts and truth. Let's remove the smoke. Let's remove the smoke. Let us talk about the realization of what's really going on around us. One of the things that I ask many individuals who watch the program, take what works for you. Take the things that help you to understand how to move forth. I'm not telling you if you want to celebrate Christmas, that's fine. But I also would suggest to you to go back and check the history. Find out about how Christmas started. Find out what putting ornaments on a tree is and what it represents. We talk about Easter. I mean, let's keep it real. How do you about the resurrection of Jesus Christ and you got a bunny, a rabbit involved in it? Where do they come together? And they We really confusing ourselves as we move forward. We got to understand why the kids is running crazy, because we are making them crazy. We're teaching them to be crazy. Let's deal with the truth. Let's let them understand rules. We want them to believe in God, then let's bring them to the Holy Spirit. Don't bring them to some imagination or a situation or some area where they say, yo, I can make the God I want to have. From the conversation we were having. And that don't happen.
Too powerful.
So it is what it is. So with all due respect, it's still, I still don't see it. It's up. It's back up. Let me see. Y'all bear with me. Cause you're there. Okay, just keep going. Okay. I can just tell you this. Strange things happen when we speak truth. For whatever reason, the powers that are at hand sometimes will cause things to happen for whatever reason. But I do know God is in control. And that's what I serve. I serve one God. I serve the Holy Spirit. And that's how I move. And I want to say to you, Brother Mike, man, God bless you for being a man who really moves on truth, you know, and the facts.
Yes, sir.
And if we had more individuals like yourself, man, we'd have a much better world. Thank you so much for coming on. So, I appreciate you. All right.
Appreciate you.
You do have a couple messages. James Parker says, "Good evening, Dr. Rodney Crines and guest Lady Z and guest Lady Z, the only lady." Rachel Pope says, "Good afternoon, PTP family." And Anthony Ellis says, "Look at what I just sent you about Christmas and what it represents."
So I got to see. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm trying.
Substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is the Christ coming down
Oh, wait a minute.
into human form. And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to heaven, which is your thing. It's also the story of Santa Claus. Why he comes down the chimney is because this juice or this whatever substance actually passes what's called the claustrum, which is where we got Santa Claus. So it goes down the chimney and back up the chimney. There's 33 vertebrae in your spine. There's 33 years in the life of Jesus Christ. There is a substance or liquid that comes from your medulla. This substance comes from your medulla, makes the trip down your spine to your sacrum, which is the Christ coming down into human form. And if you don't squander that essence, that sexual essence, it ascends again and goes back up to
Brother Anthony, how you doing, sir? No, no, you know what? Uh, it well, did it cut off on your end?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It'll cut off when you're talking about certain things.
Oh. Cause I sent when y'all was talking about the Christmas thing, and I was sending you the history of where that came from, and through a video.
Yeah,
Jim Carrey was explaining it, and my one of my mentors, Dr. B. Serious, he was explaining it as well, but I couldn't find the video. But I found the one Jim Carrey was talking about, and I sent it to you. That's why I went on your live and said, look at the. I just sent you something. Look at it, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
yeah.
I was like, what the world? So they looked at the video first before they sent that it come out to you.
Well, not only that, we controlled. So if we,
of course,
if we speak truth, they're going,
Yes,
they're going,
yes,
they're going,
yes.
they're going to do that.
Yeah.
That's
But
just
see, yeah, that's so there is a social media that's called it's ran by a black dude. It's called what is it called? Fan base. What's the fan base? It's called Fan Base. And you can go live on that. You can say whatever you wanna. It's black owned. It ain't governed. You could be able to take your followers over to it. I don't know. I don't know that much about it. It's new.
well. Let me tell you something. If he had it established in America, even still, believe me, that it's only but so far that they'll let it go.
Because
We already know. So
Billy Carson, he got his thing established in here, and he got his own TV station.
right.
And he's saying without he's the one that introduced me to the stuff my man was started talking about, and where you seeking spiritual truth and not religion.
Right.
So and they can't govern them. They can't govern them.
Well, I want to talk with you. I definitely want to talk with you because one of the things that I really want to do moving forth, I want to let's speak truth. Let's don't live in the lies.
Right.
And so when we get cut off, or I had this happen. This ain't the first time.
Okay.
So
they're gonna do that because that's why TikTok and Facebook had to be owned by United States so they can do stuff like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I listened to this young girl. She sounds like she's an old wise woman, but she's a young girl, and they be putting on probation and everything. She got like 2 million followers, and she breaks all of that stuff down. She talks about, oh man.
But you know what? I've seen where I've talked to 40, 50 people, right? And they said, man, I enjoyed your show. And guess what? It'll say I only had 10 viewers.
Oh yeah.
But I done had 40 or 50 people to come up and say, man, that was a nice show. And then I realized, I say, you know what? It is what it is. So what we do, we just try.
Content out there. Put the content out there. They're gonna fall on the ears it's supposed to fall
on.
Which
Yeah.
you can control.
And then that person, if it's truth, that person gonna spread. That they're gonna share it, and they're gonna fall on the ears it's supposed to, and it's gonna continue to manifest itself. And they can't stop that.
Well, something, that's what's happening. And when we put God first in it, that's what happens. God started the true creator of this whole universe start to put things where the truth will prevail.
Yes.
I appreciate you calling in. I appreciate you calling in.
Oh, I didn't even know I was on the line. I just called you trying to find out. I thought it was over with.
Nah, we actually still on live right now.
Okay.
It did kick back in. But anyway, I appreciate it. And we gotta get you back in too, man, because it would have been good for you to be sitting in here in the other chair.
Look, the whole time I was thinking that. I like that. This is the day I said because I have some information to explain what my man was talking about. But I wanted him to ask him, what is his thoughts about the filament? And what the filament means to him.
The filament.
Because we were talking about the system. So in the quantum field, it talks about that because we hear and we think that we are talking to each other, but when they do the science study of it, we don't really exist to each other. And I have a book on it.
I've heard that.
I have a book on it. That we are fragmented. We are almost like a hologram when you look at the science.
All this is fake.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, somebody a while ago was telling me when you The Matrix, you remember the movie?
Yes, that's real.
It's real.
It's real.
If you really get into it, it'll break it down. It'll break it down to you.
It's real. It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. And once you take the veil off, you'll start seeing some of the stuff.
Yeah.
And that is a book that talks about as above, so below. And once you get an understanding that even though we exist in this physical existence, we also exist in another realm, spiritual realm.
Yes, exactly.
So we have a duality that we're not taught about.
And I was getting ready to say that's another reason you hear about duality all the time.
Yes. Hey, Anthony. I want you to give me a call because I really want to make it. I want us to get back in here because I would like to have a couple yourself and maybe we'll bring Mike back in. And I got another.
My wife. She knows the terminology. You know what I'm saying? She remembers those words that I don't pick. I know the action of the meaning of what I want to say, but she know the terminology of the to describe the meaning. She know the terminology, and I break down the meaning of it.
Right. So
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So
both of them feed off each other.
So do me a favor, talk to your wife, and let's make it happen and get y'all in here. So we do what we do on the people to people, the power to power, the positive thinking people.
We'll do that.
Okay, my brother. Peace and blessings. All right. So I thank everybody that joined in. We ran over just a little bit. I don't know what happened that caused the show to be interrupted, but so be it. I'll give all my praise to my Lord and Savior, Yahshua, and I do not. I just know that I believe that God is in control, not man. We can try to be, but for real, when it all comes down, He's gonna make it so that the truth will set you free. Thank you again, Michael, man. Again, it was my pleasure. Thank you so much.
Appreciate you.
And I'm glad that you came in. We ran over. Thank everybody that joined in. It's people to people, power to power, positive thinking people. Don't forget to hit subscribe. Love you.